Good evening, ladies. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Wine and Wisdom. It is time to sip, savor, and elevate your minds. I am Dr. Carlia East, and I'm so excited to be here because let me tell y'all, we are talking about relationships tonight, and y'all know that's my thing. I love talking about relationships. So tonight's topic is rising above insecurities, a woman's journey to shattering feelings of inadequacy. Now, where do we get these feelings of inadequacy from, ladies? All types of places. Sometimes they come from previous relationships. They come from us socially comparing ourselves to others in other relationships. They come to this fairy tale, come from a fairy tale syndrome. Lots of times they're based on how we were treated, in our families, and those dynamics are deeply rooted. So we got to talk about that. But let me tell you guys something. Women may not worry about being good enough for their partner, um, you know, every single minute of the day, but it is something that we evolve in. We have to be honest about that. We have to be honest about how we see ourselves physically, how we see our intelligence or our qualities, or making sure that we're meeting certain expectations or feminine expectations, that we may think our mate may want or we may want to exude. And so there are all these different types of stereotypes that we are kind of fighting against on a consistent basis. And so tonight is really going to be about understanding what to do in order to help shatter, those feelings of inadequacy so we can walk into, that space of a romantic space to feel really confident about it. So now, all the nuggets that I'll give you guys are absolutely for free. But if I vibe with you, right? If you're picking up something from me tonight and you're like, oh my God, I need her in my life. I need her to get me all the way together. Then definitely stay on and connect with me. And you'll see it in the link where I offer my Seen and Be Heard call. This is all about an opportunity for you and I to vibe and to see if we want to work further together. But this is for high achieving women who are ready to balance that relationship and balance that career at the same time and be able to show up amazing in both settings. Okay. Now, I am Dr. Carlia East. I've been in the game for over 20 years. I'm an empowerment coach, a speaker, a clinician, overall unapologetic badass. Okay. And I created Wine and Wisdom simply for that space for us to sip, savor, and elevate our minds. Because as ladies, we need opportunities to have a clear head and no bullshit, right? Hello, can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Let's sip. Mm-hmm. And we gonna say, but hey. All right, so let's get into it. Let's talk about Grace. Now, Grace has been in a very loving relationship for a long time with Mark. They've been, having a good time, enjoying one another. Now, she's known for being super intelligent, creative, artistic. She thinks outside of the box. And so they have a lot of fun adventures together. They enjoy each other. And, even though they have such a great relationship, underneath it all, she has this deep-seated root of inadequacy. It's like every time she makes a move with him, she enjoys it, but about 5% of her questions whether she should have enjoyed it, whether something could have been better, whether she could have improved, if she messed up when she said something at dinner. Like there's this small little feeling of inadequacy there. Now, ladies, some of us feel that way, and it may not be every single time, but we got to be honest. Hello, I can raise my hand and be honest. Even being married, I've been hanging out with my husband and wanted things to be great, but yet there were some insecurities that I had within myself, that were fluttering into how I felt about the conversation or how I felt about how we engage with one another. And so that's a real thing. Now, Grace's fear is absolutely rooted in her childhood. Growing up, she often felt that she had to meet high standards of her family and high standards of her expectation, whether she was the first to do this or whether it was just the standard, right? And some of us have those dynamics where we're either the first to be something in our families, and so there's a pressure for that, or there's just a straight across the board standard, right? Non-negotiable. This is what has to get done, right? And so we have those areas as well. So all of these can play a role into feelings of inadequacy when we don't feel like we measure up specifically to the things that we've designed and created in our minds as vehicles, right, to be successful in that place. So if we've designed in our minds that being a lady or being feminine or being in a relationship or showing up in a relationship looks like this, looks a certain way, is framed a certain way, then of course, if we don't meet every single one of those expectations, because we are high achieving women out here hustling and balancing, and some of us have kids, and we have pets and we have all these other things, social responsibilities, then we feel like we're failing. We feel like we're inadequate in some way. And that is, a mental thing for us. So we feel like we begin to fall short, just like Grace. She started feeling like she was falling short of the relationship that she, wasn't really giving her all into it, and it made her feel insecure about the relationship. Now, she knew Mark loved her. She knew that he had her back. But at the same time, it didn't fill that void of worthiness that was, there, or worthlessness that was there, rather. It didn't fill that void for her. And so it was something that she constantly grappled with. And as you guys know, when we grapple with things as women, it eventually bleeds over into our relationships. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah. All right. So y'all ready for the wisdom? Let me tell y'all something. The frustrating thing about this whole scenario is that it's great to know that someone loves you. Like, it's an amazing feeling to know that you are loved and that reciprocity is there. But at the same time, you need to also be able to govern yourself and not define yourself by that love, because you are an individual person. And so all that love is great. It's an extra bonus, right, of being in that dynamic. It's not the absolute value of who you are and how you gather yourself. And loving you also means loving everything about you, right? Even the parts that are inadequate. So that security sometimes can lead to you, wanting to maybe manipulate areas in your life that you shouldn't be doing. Okay. So what do we need to do, ladies? Y'all ready? Security is something that you have to value within yourself. Security is not something that you look for in someone else. It is something that is within. Security is within. Do y'all hear me? That's the nugget. That security and that peace has to be okay with where you are. Now, if there are things about you that you are insecure about, you need to get to the root of where that stems from. Hold those individuals accountable, or that experience accountable. But the person that's in front of you, your mate, if he or she is not exhibiting those behaviors, but they may be triggering you, then it's your responsibility, first of all, to recognize your trigger, and then to let them know that you're being triggered. And then for the two of you to figure out how, you can compromise the way you communicate or the way you interact, and so that trigger is not hitting you as hard, right? Or you have methods and ways of dealing with it. But your security has to come within. Your happiness is not the responsibility of another person. It is absolutely 100% yours. And some of us have some deep-rooted insecurities that we can't get past. And we've tried multiple ways of getting past those insecurities, but we can't. We've gone to self-help groups, and we've read books, and we've gone to church, and we've done meditation, and we've done all these things, which are amazing. We need our biblical, I tell y'all, we need biblical and earthly stuff, vibing within us on a consistent basis. But that's not enough. Sometimes you got to get to the root. And sometimes you need help getting to that root. And that's why a girl like me, empowerment coach, badass, is here. I created my Seen and Be Heard call specifically for women like you who are trying to find and get to that root, so you can dig that out and heal, so that you can stop feeling inadequate in your marriage, inadequate in your relationships, so that you can feel confident to not just walk into that boardroom and know how to slay, but walk in that bedroom and that kitchen and know how to slay, right? I need you to feel that way. And so my blueprint helps you to identify and challenge those irrational beliefs. It helps you to start asking yourself questions about how you feel about your thoughts, because again, that security is within. So, questioning those irrational thought processes, questioning, how you navigate, those are all going to be answers that you need to find in order for you to be successful. And I can help you get there, right? So definitely contact me on my Seen and Be Heard call. It's an opportunity for us to connect for free, identify negative thought patterns that you may have, that where they stem from. We're going to clarify your relationship goals and how you want to move forward with your mate as far as communication, and also building your self-confidence and self-worth, so that you feel good about who you are, and that you recognize is that you're, that you don't have any weaknesses, that you have areas that need accommodations, just like he does or she does. And so it's a measurement tool, right? And so not feeling negative about, the things that make you unique, but also embracing those things as well. Okay. So ladies, I hope you got a vibe today. I gave you more than a nugget. I gave you quite a few, but you know how I feel about relationships, and the fact that they don't make or break you. They are essential if that's how you feel, and that's amazing, right? But they are an additional, really amazing bonus that we are blessed with in this life. And some of us need to be able to recognize that that doesn't always have to be a negative and a fight to the finish line, right? We can have harmonious relationships and as well as autonomous, autonomy within ourselves and individuality. Okay. So it's about finding that balance, ladies. Again, thank you for joining me for another episode of Wine and Wisdom. Please like, share, tell your girlfriend, share this with others. I got your back. Empowerment Coach is here. Dr. E speaks. Always stay unapologetically authentic. I'll talk to you soon, ladies. Bye-bye.